welcome to another edition of Inspire. Today we have Christin Slough, like wow, and you are going to be wowed today because not only is Christin a Sapphire Queen with us here at SeneGence, she's been in the business for 7 years and most recently has uprooted her entire life, her family, practically cross country, and is thriving in her new state. So welcome, Christin. So glad to have you here today.
Hey, thank you for inviting me. This was awesome. I've been watching the Inspire series and I've been really enjoying them. So thanks for inviting me.
Of course, of course. So when you found SeneGence in 2016, where were you in your life? You have a daughter, you lived in
Oh
Texas.
my
Tell us
gosh.
more about that.
Yeah, so in 2016, I was a single mom. I worked for a bank full time as a vice president for Bank of America. I had a full time, day job, and I actually wasn't looking for an opportunity. I was looking for great makeup and skincare and things like that because I had an office job and I thought this would be like a fun little hobby. Then it turned out to be way more than a fun hobby.
There's something here, and that's incredible. And so when you started in the business, not having any experience, how did you learn the business? What was it for you that helped you become more successful?
It was truly a game of follow the leader, right? So it's not mimicking what other people do. It is seeing what they do and taking it as inspiration and using it for yourself. So if I saw other people going live, I was going live. If I saw other people posting content, posted content myself. And then what I realized was once I kind of got the basic building blocks down of kind of shadowing other people, that when I started infusing my own personality into it and then seeing what it was that made their content and making my own and taking those building blocks and growing, that's when my business started growing with me. So it was like just taking simple things and mimicking what somebody else is doing almost exactly and seeing a little bit of success, right? And then taking it and making my own and then seeing that exponential success, because that's when you set yourself apart. Is there's the SeneGence brand and then there's your own personal brand. So you can share the SeneGence brand, but then you've got to share yourself to really take it to the next level. So that's how mine kind of like took off and started building, just copying other people and then started infusing myself and started seeing it blow up.
Love that. And it is true, people buy from people, they don't buy from companies. And yes, obviously SeneGence is a great brand in and of itself, but you, Christin, you're who they're connecting with, your story,
Yes.
your life, they're following you, and whether that's in real life or virtually on stories, through Facebook, Instagram, etc.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, so you have a strong business, obviously, Sapphire Queen, but most recently, in the past few months, you made a very large life decision, but it's actually helped grow your business. Can you share how you were able to take your business from one state to another, and maybe what you did to prepare for that ahead of it? Ahead of
Yeah, so I am social. Like that the one of the reasons this business works for me is I just genuinely enjoy meeting new people. So as I was planning to move from Texas to Florida, one of the primary ways that I build my entire business is through community groups on Facebook. So not just creating groups and running them. I join groups. I am in hundreds of groups, travel groups, lifestyle groups, diet groups, local groups. And so when I started to move, I joined all of my local groups. I knew I was moving to St. Petersburg. I went to my Facebook search bar and I put in St. Petersburg women, St. Petersburg networking, like all these different search terms. I put in my neighborhood, like the actual name of my neighborhood I lived in, found a group for that. And before I ever moved, I started making post places like, hey, we're moving to the area. What do I need to know? Hey, we're moving to the street. What do I need to know about flooding? And so I'm posting places and getting to know people. And that's how I really like get involved and was able to transition my business so beautifully, because before I even arrived here physically, I already had people who were giving me advice, cheering for me, inviting me to networking events, because I put myself out there and I just said, hi, I'm the new kid and this is what I'm like. And if that resonates with you, I'd love for you to reach out to me. And so I just put myself out there and whoever takes it, if I'm polarizing. Uh, so I put myself out there and about half the people pick it up because they're like, this is awesome and the best thing I've ever seen. About half the people are like, oh no. you're not for me, and that's okay. So I am a Facebook community person. So if you are primarily only playing in your own group, you may be missing out on some opportunities to connect with people from afar that will come together in person.
Yeah, I think that's a really great tip that, you're so focused on your own group, but, if you just step outside of your group and go and just type in the name of your town or the name of your neighborhood and
Mhm.
see what's out there in those communities and start building those relationships, it can lead
Think
to,
of it.
you know, it can lead to virtual connections, but also real life connections as well, which is what
Yes.
you've been able to do now that you are in Florida. And so
Yes, I've
really just
met quite a few of the people online, like out. So I went on a lunch date with a gal that I met online. I've been invited to this like women's networking group, and I'm like interacting with them all of the time. I've been invited to do a collaboration with a spa that's opening to bring my hydromats and DIY lashes. So like all of that planting seeds online gets us in person, and that's what like kind of builds that connection and helps you filter through the people who maybe aren't for you, or you aren't for them, and then find those great connections before you ever even like land face to face. It was
yeah.
fun.
Great way to do that. I love that. And I think anybody could start that right now,
Yes.
especially in this time of year where there is so much activity happening. There's so many things happening in real life, local shops, local spas, churches, vendor events, your schools, everybody's having markets around the holiday time.
Yes.
And so we at SeneGence also love this time of year. There's so many fun offers and promotions that we do. How do you, as a distributor, not necessarily as a leader, but as a
Yeah.
distributor, how do you take advantage of the promotions and offers that SeneGence offers throughout the year?
I'm so glad you asked that because I had to kind of like we've seen SeneGence kind of change how they've been doing promotions over the years. So it used to be that SeneGence didn't have a lot of promotions. And so we as business owners created our own and we got creative and we did all that. So that was a habit of mine. A habit of mine was creating these complex sales promotions because there weren't other promotions happening. So that has been kind of like part of my business over the years. And this year, what I've decided is that, and actually over the last month, I've decided to simplify my business and really rely more on what SeneGence is offering. So when I planned my November, I have planned base content throughout the month that changes up, right? So we're going to talk about the power of three, CCTM mascara and hydromat one week. We're going to talk about sleep supplements one week. We're going to talk about advent calendar. We're going to do an advent calendar focus one week because it has 8 different products in it. So I've got my base content figured out. Like I know what I'm talking about all month long. And then as SeneGence brings in the sunshines on our calendar, I know that those are happening, right? I plugged them into my own calendar. So I would know on that day, the first thing that I'm going to do when I wake up is I'm going to check my email and I'm going to see what's going on those days so I can promote that. So I've got my content scheduled for the month. I know what I'm going to be doing. I haven't gotten all the content created, but I know what the month plan is. And I've got my base content in there. And then I've got my suns in my Google Calendar. And I'm going to wake up on each day where there's a sun and I'm going to go check it out. And then I'm going to say, what piece of content am I going to create today that supports this promotion and weave it into my base content plan. So that way it's like a nice blend of flexibility with my month because I don't want to have to figure it all out on the fly, but I do want some excitement. And if I knew all of my promotions the entire month in advance, honestly, I lose excitement because I've been hearing about it for 3 weeks or I've been thinking about it for 3 weeks. So there's almost like this like excitement transfer when I don't know what's coming and I'm like, oh, okay. And I go out and do it versus like having a full month. It's hard to get excited for 15 different promotions or 15 different things at one time. So base content all month long and then just like bringing the sunshine in when we do and deciding how to position that for my customers to create urgency because we're creating value all month long and then the sales are just to create urgency because the sale doesn't get somebody to buy something today that they didn't want to buy yesterday. It just gets them to purchase something now that they already wanted to buy instead of tomorrow. So they have to already want to buy it. So you're going to be focusing on getting them to want to buy it all month. And then you'll just come in with these cute little urgency offers to get them to buy it today. And then they're going to buy it today. And then they're going to get rewarded. And then they're going to come back and you're going to remind them that they have rewards when the next promotion comes. And then they're going to buy it again. And then the next promotion comes. You'll be like, you have rewards. And it's like
So
down the bunny
that
trail.
so that seems to me makes me think that you are in love with our new Kiss and Shell reward program.
I
Uh,
am not sad.
And that is awesome. So, for those of you that aren't aware, we do have a new program, a loyalty program, and we do reward customers that shop through you, and we do the rewarding on your behalf. So you can search that in the guides here in our tech talks to learn more about that, and we'll have more training on that coming as the weeks and months go on. So how you can leverage Kiss and Tell in your business. So love that,
Yeah,
Kristen.
and using those little words like shop all month, because they're going to get rewarded, and just hop them down the bunny trail with you all month long, grabbing those little items for themselves and for others, grabbing the advent calendars before they sell out, like just, bunny hopping down the trail.
Yes, I love that. It's so great and really great advice too. And I think you're right about the excitement, the energy transfer, being excited about it. And when you are sharing that in your stories or in your posts, there is a transfer of energy there that really you can't create. It's something that does occur naturally. So I think that's a really great point too. So, okay, so you've been here now for 7 years. If somebody is watching that's brand new and they're a little overwhelmed, right? We have lots of incredible products. There's, lots of ways to promote and run a business. If you can think back to when you started and you didn't have any experience at all, you had business experience in a completely different sector of business. What would you say, or what do you say when newbies join you? What is your top words of advice for them as they venture off into their new business?
So I want to say, don't get overwhelmed, but like, you're going to. That's going to happen. So what I will say is, don't let overwhelm stop you from taking a step back, simplifying, and moving on. I get overwhelmed all the time. I overwhelm myself. I tell people all the time, I'm like, I'm sick of my own BS right now, because like I tend to overcomplicate, I overthink, I make it bigger than it needs to be. I look at everything that everybody else is doing and I want to be doing everything that they're doing, and it's too much. So you can't be 15 different people or 15 different great SeneGence distributors. So taking a step back and understanding what is going to work for you. And when I built my business, I did not come out and share the entire product line. I wasn't even aware of the whole product line yet. I also wasn't an expert, and I wasn't even sharing the product line from an expert point of view. I never came out and, I was like, I'm a makeup expert and I found this lip color and it's, industrial, like it disrupted the industry and everything. I don't know any of that stuff. It wasn't my stuff. I wasn't an expert. So I came in and just took my customers on a journey with me. It was just like, hey, friends and family, I found a thing and it works and I like it and I'm going to share it. And then when it was time to try something new, like seriously, I didn't even know the shadow sense existed when I signed up. So I told my customers, I was like, I'm hearing good things about the shadows. They're cream. I've never used anything like this before. I'm going to order some of these with my profits from your orders. Like I always want to let them know when I was being rewarded by my business. Thanks so much for ordering with me. Let's try these next week. And so then I would try them live and do a terrible job, but then we would figure it out together. We'd keep blending and it turned out beautiful. And then they got to just take that journey with me as we just tried new products together. You don't have to be an expert. They're not expecting you to be. You're not, in most cases, going to present yourself as the expert who's telling them what they need. You're just their friend who found something that works for you, who's sharing it to make a referral. So that's how I approach my business. I'm not a pro. I'm not a makeup artist. I don't do weddings. I don't let people book me out. I don't do special effects makeup. I'm just a mom and I'm busy as hell. And I really want to get the makeup on my face quickly. And I want to refer it to my friends who have the same goals as I do. So just keep it what would be attractive to you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what makes attractive to everybody else, because you can't read their minds. You are your own best customer because you're going to attract people who are like you. So make it simple and make it enjoyable and take your customers on that journey with you. It doesn't have to be, you aren't the SeneGence marketing department and you don't need to take that on. You are yourself. And all you need to do is share fabulous products that do what they say they're going to with friends who will enjoy them as well. So I would just say, if you find yourselves overwhelmed, take a big step back. Keep it super simple. Take your customers on a journey with you and never, ever pretend to be something that you're not, because it won't feel authentic to you. Not because, of any other reason, then it won't make your business enjoyable. And I want you to enjoy your business like I do.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. It's authenticity and simplicity,
Yes.
every time. Beautiful. So, Christin, you have been with us now for 7 years. It'll be 8 years next spring. And this journey has its ups and downs, like any business has. And as we roll into our 25 years in business, you'll have been in this business for 8 years. Can you walk us through some of the ups and downs and what you're most looking forward to as you look ahead into the next 7 to 8 years of your business?
Yes, definitely. So it's so funny because SeneGence's anniversary is kind of my anniversary. Just by fluke, I signed up the week of seminar almost 8 years ago. So I sign up, I'm in the Facebook groups, the week of seminar, and it's bananas. I mean, there's new releases, there's all this stuff, all these social posts. So it's so full circle to me that we're having this huge anniversary. It's my anniversary as well. And I guess what I'm looking forward to is just it's because I have such a beautiful business that I've loved for so long, like 8 years. I'm really looking forward to my 10-year anniversary, like with SeneGence. And I know that SeneGence will be here then. Throughout the cycle of business, throughout that period of time, I had, my first few years where I just like nose to the grindstone, built, 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 built. And it was the best, most exciting, most incredible season of my life. I got to meet thousands of new people, like literally thousands of new people between customers and new teammates and friends and travel and everything. And then I had this huge life disruption take place, and it was a positive life disruption. But we had a big life change in 2020, in the winter of 2020. And so I was able to like step back from my business, honestly, it took me a good year or more to kind of like sort through that big family situation. And while I've never completely left my business by any means, I was able to pull way back and focus on my family and focus where I needed to be because I had created an income stream. So I don't know if y'all have this thing, but a body in motion stays in motion and a body at rest stays in rest. So I pulled out of my SeneGence business and you know, I got through the life thing. I decided I was like, okay, what's next? And then it was hard for my brain to go back to what I was doing before. In my mind, I had closed it or ended it or changed it or something. I don't know how to describe it, but I had like closed a mental door. And so I went and got a job, a corporate job, as a matter of fact, a vice president again with a company. And it looked like a really great opportunity. I liked the people. As a matter of fact, the only reason I went and got a job was because it was a friend of mine from college that referred me to it. So it was working with people I knew. And I was really excited about it. And I'll be honest, like I lasted like 90 days. I was like, I don't want to do this. It was a cool opportunity. They were cool people. I just didn't want to do that anymore. Once I found the flexibility and freedom to just not have, it's not external accountability necessarily. It's accountability to myself first and foremost, and to my family first and foremost. There was the whole reason that all of these things took place. And so what I did was I just had a huge reality check with myself about like, is this a real thing? Is this stuff you just created in your brain? And it was just stuff I created in my brain. So at October Leaders, not this past one, but the one prior, I completely recommitted to my business. And within 6 months, had hit Countess. By the end of the year, had hit my Ultimate Royal, hit CEO Circle this year, Global Crown Princess. So you can, if you find yourself in the same position at any point in your business, you can just turn it back on, as a matter of fact. So I told myself, you can't just turn it back on. You can't make yourself feel how you don't feel. You can. Ta-da! Living proof. So the grass wasn't greener on that one. My brain decided I wanted a predictable income and to go work for somebody else. And for some reason, my brain thought that would be easier. And then I started doing it. I was like, oh no, now I remember. I like autonomy. So that was kind of how that evolved.
Yeah, love that. Love that. And it is interesting. And sometimes we need to have those experiences, but it is beautiful that you can step right back into the business and it does reward you with
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, the effort and time that you put into it does come back to you. So that's a really great reminder for people, and the consistency factor too, right? Showing up consistently in your business daily, whether it's
it just works.
Customers, yeah, it just works. And I think that we're, for anything in business, like a body in motion stays in motion. So what is motion? It's consistent activity.
Yeah, absolutely. You can kind of like unactivity yourself into your brain thinking that it's not working when it really was the opposite. It was like, I wasn't working, so then it didn't work.
Right.
versus I was working and it didn't work.
Yeah. Amazing. What a great story. Well, we are so excited for you. We can't wait to see what you end up doing for your 10 years in a couple of years. But in the meantime, thank you for being such an inspiration to so many of us and your team and your peers. And we look forward to celebrating with you at Seminar in 2024.
I cannot wait. I'm really, 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 really looking forward to the 25th. I mean, we've had some crazy seminars, and I know this one's going to be the best. So I'm already pumped. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.